Hey guys, Earl here with another episode of The Breakdown. Today's episode, restorative cleaning of a vinyl ceiling tile. Let's dive right into it. We're working on a commercial space, size roughly about 7,500 square feet. The space we're working on is made up of cafeteria, kitchen, bakery, food prep areas. What are the pre-existing conditions? Well, we got some really dingy tiles and grid caps, dirty returns and registers, and grease from cooking and baking. So the areas we're going to cover, I'll show you some images here of some past jobs we did before we get into this job we just completed. So here's an example of the spaces we clean, and these are past jobs, of course. And these past jobs here that you're seeing, they're basically places that have never had the service done until they were required to. So as you can see, it's really bad. And you can tell that as we clean the space, how we're able to restore these tiles almost back to a like new condition. Okay, so now that we got past some of these past jobs, the job we're gonna go over today is more of a regular account that we do annually, sometimes twice a year, just depending on the soil buildup. We normally would stop by every 6 months to visit site and see how it looks and make our recommendations. So what are we doing here? The service type is restorative vinyl ceiling cleaning, restorative FRP wall cleaning, and on a side note, we also clean off the grease on the stainless steel surfaces as part of the service. Because the surfaces that we're cleaning are joined by the stainless steel, some of that grease and stuff gets on there, and so we're already there, we clean it. We charge a little additional for that, but it's not something we do regularly. Okay, so what is vinyl ceiling tiles and FRP wall panels, and where are they used? Vinyl ceiling tiles are made up of a composite material, basically like a fiberglass plastic. Same thing with the FRP wall. It's fiber reinforced panel is what FRP stands for. And these are commonly used in kitchens, food prep, and food manufacturing areas because these type of surfaces on ceilings and walls don't absorb odor or soil. The odor and soil stays on the face of the panels, making it easy to clean and sanitize. Okay, so let's get into our client. I don't have permission to disclose the location we're working on. And even though it's not a big deal for me to state who our customer is, I'd rather leave them anonymous unless I get permission. And then I can say, hey, we're working at Earl's Grocery or Earl's Food Prep. So what we're working on today is a large bulk warehouse grocery type. So you have an idea of what kind of places are like that already. With that said, here's some other concerns. Passing sanitary inspections because it's food prep, the timeline of getting the service done, getting it done at a time that's not disruptive towards their operation, and odor and safety because it is a food prep area. They don't want any cross-contamination or getting this stuff on food that is going to be consumed by their clients and customers. Why do they choose us? Well, we have a good online reputation. We're very easy to communicate with. We're very responsive. Ease of communication is always key for our clients when they work with us. And for me, it's about providing real results of the sample. I am a big fan of samples. So they call, we provide a sample, they see what it looks like, they know exactly what they're paying for and what it costs. And also on this particular job or service, we met all safety and OSHA requirements and regulations for working in a food type of environment that is involved with the SDS sheets and everything else. Okay, so a project like this, give you an example of a timeline, they normally give us a call. I'm a fan of surveying the project, taking a look at it, providing an estimate or sample. Then from there, depending on what we're working on, in this example, it's food prep and has to do with food. So of course there's safety guidelines with OSHA, certificates, SDS sheets, budget approvals, scope approvals, and so forth and so on. And of course, the scheduling of the job is important because they operate, let's say, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so we have that window at night when we can have the space undisturbed and perform our service without being in the way of anybody else. Okay, so let's do a quick overview. This project here is a $4,000 job. It takes about 2 days to complete. Daily schedule coordination coming in, different managers at night. For a place like this, they have deliveries coming at night, restocking of shelves, prepping for the next day. So there's a lot that goes on with coordination that you may not see or understand because we have to work around people. Just because a place is closed at night doesn't mean there's not staff in there working and preparing for the opening the next day. Then on top of that, you have security clearance, of course. Most of these commercial places have security where we got to come in, check our stuff on the way out. Theft is always an issue and things like that. So I always tell my staff to always only stay in the work area specified unless you have to use a bathroom or there's a designated break area. And then at the end of it, supervisor walkthrough daily. That's a requirement because we need them to understand where we are in the project. Because sometimes the supervisor you leave with at night is not the supervisor on shift the next day. And oftentimes when we get that call, it's from the supervisor the next morning that says, hey, what happened here? And so we try to make sure that that information is given to the night supervisor, submitted to our admin people, and then resubmitted to the first shift supervisor so that everybody is in tune with what's going on with the project. Well, in transition to that, it's how do we get a job like this? If you're looking at this and you have a project like this, maybe you find us online. A lot of people find us online. We have a good, online presence. They call it with a concern. Once you call us or any customer calls us with concern, our first thing is to look at your project and make an assessment. Is it something that we can do? What are you trying to achieve? And can we facilitate that within the confines of how our company operates? Always communication is the biggest part where people have misunderstandings or a customer's not happy or the service technicians on site are aggravated or the people that are working in the space that you're supposed to be working on, there's a conflict there. Oh, we're supposed to be doing this here tonight. Oh, we're supposed to be working here tonight. And so those things happen on the job site. And that's why we're very big on communication and sending memos and making staff aware that we are coming, that we're going to perform this. And by doing this, you're going to smell this. We're going to need to move that. So for me, it always comes back to communication. So from there, let's look over some images and videos of the process live on site. Upon arriving on site, we check in, we sign who we are, the company, and oftentimes in their ledger, we're scheduled to be there. We start every job by protecting. We look at our workspace, look at all the elements around it. It's easy for us to do what we do in the sense of it's what we do every day. So like brushing your teeth every day. It's easy to you because it's what you do every day. However, when we work in another space that's not our space, we have to look at the workspace as it's used, what's there, what do we need to protect, what do we need to cover so we don't cause any damage. From there, we set up our equipment and we proceed to follow our scope of work. We move fixtures out of the workspace, and then we start applying our pre-treatment like you'll see in these videos. These pre-treatments are made to break down the soil and separate it from the surface. So the word is deflocculate. Weird word, but deflocculation is the separation of soil from a surface and encapsulating it in a water molecule that is charged with soap. From after that, we wipe it off and we rinse and repeat that process until we get the results that we were trying to achieve. Sometimes when an area is dirty, you'll have to go over that dirty area 2 to 4 to 5 times even. And that's because when you spray a solution, so let me give you a more visual. So if you have soil this thick and you spray it, sometimes that spray only penetrates this much and you're able to remove that much of soil. The second time around, you get deeper. Third time around, you go deeper. Fourth time around, you get deeper until you get all the way down and remove all the soil you can possibly remove that's not permanent staining. And why is that important? That's important because when we do a pre-inspection and an estimate, those are the things we look for to determine how long your project's going to take, which obviously will drive your cost up or down. So in getting a regular maintenance, we can get in and out, do your project quickly because it's not as dirty as it would be if you didn't call us for 5 years. So as an example, if you have a ceiling installed and you have it serviced and cleaned every year, let's say it would be cost A, let's say $10. And then you call us 5 years from now, we could tell you haven't done anything. Based on what we have to do and how many times we have to do it, you go from price A of $10 to price B of $50. So I hope that makes sense. So upon the completion of the project, we were able to clean and remove all the dingy areas, the grease. We were able to clean all the registers and returns without replacing anything. Once again, no damage to the floor or furniture or wall paint or any of the accessories around there. And, really protecting the utensils that people use to prepare food with. They have a bunch of utensils and trays and all that stuff. We understand that that's used in baking and cooking, so we have to cover that stuff because we don't want to get solutions on there that may cause somebody to get sick. In closing, our client was super happy. The facility saved money from replacement cost. They passed inspection. No damage to any areas below, no cross-contamination. And in this particular case, they continue to use us annually for multiple locations, normally twice a year. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. We create the breakdown for you. Maybe you have a similar project. Maybe we can save you some money. You can call us, email us, or check out our website on the links below. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. My name is Earl. We'll see you on the next episode of The Breakdown.